Hello everyone, so I am now I've gotten the time to make a updated Homelander Darrius guide because the last one that I made, I only used one move, and now that I've put more time into this team, there's a lot more broken stuff than I thought there was, so now it's time to make that updated guide, and I'll tell you what the pros are for this team, and I'll show you the setups at the end, so hope you enjoy. Alright, let's go over the main tools that you want to use for Darrius. So, first off, Tornado Kick. This is one of your 2 ambush moves. This has obviously a couple of moves attached to it, so you can either go back again, but if you notice your cameo bar, doing this move recharges your cameo bar just a little bit more, you have access to him again. So that's the only good tool I would say. It's good if you want to use the cancels, but also if you press back, you get a full combo. Moving on, we've also got Twister Kicks, like I mentioned before. Now this move is safe and block at -7, but before this patch, you could flawless block it and it would be about -16 or 17, fully punishable. But now they have changed this so that if you flawless block it, it is still safe, and they've also changed the wake up ability with it. So this has become one of the best invulnerable wake ups in the game. Even up close, look at this pushback. I can backdash this. It's -7, yes, but who's punishing me? Who's gonna try and close the gap here? I could just backdash and forward 4 if they try to close the distance. Unless they have a long-reaching mid or even just a projectile, that's basically resetting the neutral. Alright, moving on to heel turn. This move only comes out when your opponent is knocked down or when they are standing. So I could do that. I could do this, they're knocked down, that, but I could do stand for, I could do sweep, I could do uppercut, so anything that launches them in the air, I'm able to call Darrius off at. Alright, so I'll go through these moves again just to show you the actual utility and how would you use these in Homelander's toolkit. So first off, obviously, if you want good damage, that is an option there too. Now, the timing for Homelander's command grab and tornado kick is a little bit tricky if you're new to this. I would recommend going into the lab for basically as long as you want until you get very comfortable with it, because this command grab combo is not easy. This requires precise timing. Now that's a basic combo ender, but I can get a little bit more damage with about 24%, but if you want consistent damage, I would either go that, or so either stand 4, stand 3, or even forward 1, delay the dash punch if you want to switch sides. Now there is one more utility you can use with tornado kicks, and that is to set up volley ballistic. So this works the same as heel turn, but if you notice the difference with the overheads, heel turn's overhead does not launch, but volley ballistics overhead does launch. So the only way to combo that with Homelander is and one of the other ways you can combo your tornado kick, it's basically the same timing as if you're doing that. But those are the only ways you can guarantee volley ballistic with Homelander. Now going slightly more in depth with heel turn, so I have stated before that this move only comes out on knockdowns or when your opponent leaves the ground for whatever reason. Now, Homelander has a neat little trick where his back 1-4 makes the opponent jump up slightly. And if you catch my drift, you can actually summon Darrius off this, which is insanely broken because I could do stuff like this. But I can also do... Now you might be thinking, oh, that makes heel turn very busted with this character. That's only mid-screen. If we take our opponent to the corner, it gets even worse. Now, I am in the corner, so obviously, as I have said, you can summon Darrius off of back 1-4. Now, here's another thing to note. In the corner, back 1-4, if I set the opponent to duck, watch what happens when I hit back 1-4. He is set to neutral duck. This is a 8-frame high. But back 1-4 is plus 11. There we go. He cannot duck this. Now, if I combine the Darrius call with back 1-4 in the corner, I get a full 50-50 overhead or low which launches if the opponent does not block. Now also the low is much easier to land in this combo than the overhead because the overhead is supposed to just knock down, but if you time this right, you get a full combo. Now you're thinking, heel turn is broken in the corner, I should just block this. The only way to avoid being jailed by back 1-4 is to obviously block, because this jails even when you're ducking. That's if you time it right, obviously. It's actually quite hard timing. But you're thinking, oh, I should just block this, because if he's got Darrius, I'm going to have to guess 50-50. Overhead or low. Wrong. There's a three-way mix-up in this. So, if I do this, I've got Darrius out here. I could do overhead or low. I could do one more mix. You get shove combos in the corner. Throw combos in the corner with Homelander is broken as hell. Alright, last little note I'll make for heel turn is obviously your knockdowns, because this team excels on knockdown pressure, obviously. So you've got a couple of ways to enforce your mix-ups. One of them is your neck snap, 2-on-2, the forward 1-2 to get that hard knockdown, to enforce your overhead or low, neck snap to enforce your overhead or low overhead. Now the downside to doing it off this is you can delay the game plan if you're the opponent trying to guess what the Homelander wants to do. Is you have to either delay wake up, mash buttons, mash armor, or not do anything at all. It is entirely up to the Homelander player whether he reads what you're doing on wake up or not. Now, if you want less risky setups and you don't want to deal with going into the air of your neck snap, you can also use combos, your bread and butters, with jump 1-2-4. This is the exact same damage as your normal bread and butters if you were to end with this. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but Homelander does have one move that I haven't listed. That is your Army of Two. Now, Army of Two is a unbreakable 20% low special that you can do. So if I do knockdown and dash up once is, if you want to practice the timing for this, forward 2, or forward 1, 2, dash up once, and press L2. As you can see, this is a 20% unbreakable low. So whatever combo I did before, I am adding a 20% on top of it. So with Homelander's bread and butter doing 30%, I can add another 20%, making the combo basically do 50% if I don't block for low. Now I've set the opponent to auto blocks. Now if I end in stand 2 on 2 for example, Army of 2 has a neat little tool. If I do Army of 2 on block, look at the plus frames. I am at +8. I can reach with forward 1. I can especially reach with back 1. And I could even go for the command grab if I want to. Now, I've explained that Army of 2 is potentially one of the best moves that Darrius has to offer Homelander. What I did not mention is what it does to armored moves. Now, if I do 2-1-2 into Army of 2, watch what happens. I didn't get the 20% unbreakable combo. What happened there? Let's do it again. You get a full combo punish if you break armor. I repeat that, a full combo punish if you break armor. And you can do it again. This move, Army of 2, that is plus on block, also launches for a full combo. As well as every other Darrius option off heel turn. Now I will go through as many setups as I can possibly find, and I'll show them just after this, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video for my final thoughts on this team. Now, in conclusion, Darrius is probably his second or third best cameo now, especially after Darrius got buffed. And I would probably die on that hill. Darrius gives so many tools to Homelander. Darrius is definitely one of his best cameos. If you have not picked him up yet after watching this video, I highly recommend that you do so. Although I will tell you now, loading Darrius is going to be a steep hill to ride. He is not an easy cameo to play at all, but when you learn his tools, when you learn the broken stuff, he is so much fun to play. So I highly recommend you guys go and try out this team if you have not yet. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you all have a good day. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.
Rest in